There are records and then there are legends. Numbers so absurd, achievements so monumental, they feel like they belong to a different reality. The Premier League has seen its share of greatness, but some feats are so far beyond the pale, so statistically impossible to replicate, that we call them unbreakable. Today we're looking at the crown jewels of English football history, the records that will likely stand forever. First up, the Invincibles, the team that did what everyone thought was impossible. Arsenal's 2003-04 season is the stuff of legend. They played 38 games, won 26, drew 12, and lost 0. A perfect, unblemished season. They weren't just a team, they were a force of nature. At the heart of it was a perfect blend of silk and steel. You had the raw power and leadership of Patrick Vieira in midfield, the defensive genius of Sol Campbell, the otherworldly grace of Dennis Bergkamp, and leading the line, the king himself, Thierry Henry, in the absolute prime of his career. But the unbeaten run was bigger than just one season. It stretched for a staggering 49 games from May 2003 to October 2004. Think about the sheer mental fortitude required to do that. For 49 straight matches, every opponent, every fan, every newspaper was talking about the streak. Every team that faced them wanted to be the one to end it. And for 49 games, they all failed. In today's Premier League, where every team has world-class talent and the pressure is relentless, going a full 38 games, let alone 49, without a single off day, a single bad bounce, or a single moment of madness feels less like a goal and more like a fantasy. They weren't just champions, they were the Invincibles, from one legendary run to another. If the Invincibles own the league, then Jose Mourinho's Chelsea owned their home, Stamford Bridge. From March 2004 to a stunning defeat by Liverpool in October 2008, Chelsea did not lose a single home game. 86 matches, 4.5 years. It is, without a doubt, one of the most dominant achievements in all of sports. Mourinho arrived calling himself the Special One, and he turned Stamford Bridge into a fortress. Teams would arrive already defeated, beaten by the aura of the place before a ball was even kicked. The core of that side was legendary. Petr Cech in goal, a young John Terry becoming the best defender in the world, Frank Lampard scoring goals from midfield for fun, and Didier Drogba, a man built for the big occasion. For 86 home games, through 3 different managers, that fortress stood strong. Liverpool's own incredible home run a few years ago topped out at 68 games, an amazing achievement, but still a full 18 games short. That gap alone is an entire season's worth of home fixtures. In the modern era of constant change, it's a record of sustained dominance that is simply on another level, from unbeatable teams to an unstoppable man. Let's talk about Alan Shearer, 260 Premier League goals. It's a number that's easy to say, but almost impossible to comprehend. For 14 seasons, Shearer was a goal-scoring machine. He wasn't the most elegant, but he was the most ruthless. He scored with his right foot, his left foot, and with his cannonball of a head. He was a force of nature who bullied defenders and lived for that single moment of putting the ball in the back of the net. He fired Blackburn Rovers to a fairy tale title in 1995 and then went home to Newcastle, where he became a living deity. To even get close to 260, a player would need to score 25 goals a season for over 10 straight seasons, all while staying in the Premier League and avoiding career-threatening injuries. The great Harry Kane gave it an incredible chase, but ultimately moved on before he could catch the ghost he was chasing. Shearer's record isn't just about talent. It's a monument to longevity, loyalty, and a relentless, single-minded hunger for goals. From a marathon to the ultimate sprint, May 16, 2015, Southampton versus Aston Villa. Sadio Mané etched his name into history in a dizzying, chaotic blur. He scored a hat trick in 2 minutes and 56 seconds. It's barely enough time to catch your breath. It was an explosion of speed and instinct. The first was a rebound he pounced on, the second an interception he coolly finished, and the third a stunning first-time strike that flew into the top corner. The previous record had stood for over 20 years. Mané didn't just break it, he annihilated it. Everything has to go perfectly right for something like this to happen. It requires a series of defensive mistakes, perfect positioning, and flawless finishing, all in the blink of an eye. It was a statistical freak, a bolt of lightning that is so improbable, so utterly random, that the odds of it ever happening again are virtually zero. It is the definition of a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Now let's talk about a different kind of perfection. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City side of 2017-18 didn't just win the league, they broke it. They became the first and only team in history to reach 100 points in a single season, the Centurions. They won 32 of their 38 games. They scored a record 106 goals. They were simply inevitable. This team played a brand of football that was, at times, untouchable. Kevin De Bruyne was conducting the orchestra, David Silva was the magician, and Sergio Aguero was scoring the goals. To get 100 points means you can only drop 14 points across an entire 38-game campaign. It is the absolute pinnacle of consistency. Liverpool came agonizingly close with 99 points a year later, and while that was an incredible season, it only highlights how monumental getting to that triple-figure mark truly is. With the league getting more and more competitive, the idea of one team dominating so completely to hit that perfect century seems like a feat that will remain unique to Pep's masterpiece. Next, we go back to that legendary Chelsea team and the man between the sticks. A goalkeeper's legacy is built on clean sheets, and no one has a stronger foundation than Petr Cech. While his all-time record of 202 clean sheets is immense, it's his single-season record that is truly unbreakable. In that 2004-05 season, Cech kept 24 clean sheets. 24. That meant in nearly two-thirds of the games he played, the opponent simply could not score. It's a core part of why that team conceded a record-low 15 goals all season. In today's high-scoring attack-first league, the idea of a keeper putting up a wall so impenetrable for 38 straight games is frankly absurd. It was a masterclass in defensive perfection that we'll never see again. And finally, for a record that speaks not of a single season of brilliance or a moment of magic, but of incredible, mind-boggling longevity and consistency. Ryan Giggs, the Welsh wizard. He scored in 21 consecutive Premier League seasons. From the league's inception in 1992 all the way through to 2013, he found the back of the net every single year. That's not just a record, it's a career. He started as a flying winger, all pace and trickery, terrorizing fullbacks with his mazy runs. As he got older, he adapted, he evolved. He moved into central midfield, using his intelligence, his vision, and his incredible passing range to dictate the play. He was the ultimate professional, a player who looked after himself, who rode the wave of Sir Alex Ferguson's relentless desire for success, and who reinvented himself time and time again to stay at the very top of the game. To score in 21 straight seasons, you need more than just talent. You need an almost fanatical dedication to your craft. You need to avoid serious injuries. You need to maintain your hunger. And you need to be good enough to get into a team like Manchester United year after year for over 2 decades. In an era of squad rotation, of multi-million-pound signings being brought in to replace you, of the sheer physical demands of the modern game, Giggs' record seems more. These records, they're more than just numbers. They are stories. They are the tales of teams and players who pushed the boundaries of what we thought was possible. They are a reminder of the drama, the passion, and the sheer, unadulterated magic of football. And while new heroes will emerge and new stories will be written, these are the legends that will endure, the unbreakable, untouchable pillars of the Premier League's Grand Cathedral. So next time you're watching a game and a team goes on a bit of a run or a striker hits a purple patch, just remember these stories. Remember the fortress, the wall, the goal machine, the whirlwind, the cautionary tale, the magician, and the immortals. Because these are the stories that make this league the greatest in the world. And they are the records that will, in all likelihood, never be broken. Cheers to that. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to be posting a lot here. I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.